this month, we're inviting guests to weigh in on the question of what gets in the way of our growth, our evolution, and our overall success in life. And so I'm really delighted to have Bill Chalmers with me today. He is, besides an amazing guy, he's a business coach, he's a consultant, he's an entrepreneur. He's built his own companies. He's helped small companies and big companies increase their bottom line. And on top of all that, he's a philanthropist. So he has a wide range of experience, and we're going to see if we can tease some of that out of you. So to start, Bill, if you were to answer the question, what do you think really gets in people's way when they want to move ahead, be successful? If there was one thing that comes to you, what would that be?
I think it's mostly the unwillingness to do the work. We live in a microwave kind of society. You know, we want to go, we want to flavor of the week, we want to do it in one day, or we want to do it in 1 hour. And I just don't see people committing to the long haul. We're looking for quarterly returns, and in fact, sometimes some of this work is a year long, or 6 months long, or a year or 2 years, and sometimes it's even longer.
So we've shortened this whole time frame of how quickly we want success?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think lots of successful things can happen quickly, it's true, but most small companies, they'll have a pretty quick success and then they can't sustain it.
Right.
And that to me is just because there isn't a discipline to just keep hanging in.
Okay, well that takes me to my next question. If there's a correlation between personal growth and professional success, I mean, do you think there's a connection? And if so, how do those two elements kind of come together from your perspective?
Yeah, I think the context for me is they are completely interrelated, and lots of business success is in spite of the personal growth of the leader, for example. You can hit a home run sometimes and not have a lot of moxie on how to be good with people. And there's lots of entrepreneurs who have done that. I mean, we know some of the really top guys who are billionaires. They're kind of, I don't know if I can say this on the air, pricks, because they really are. And they're still successful.
Right.
But the sustainability of that needs people around them that have both personal growth and the ability to be flexible with whatever the market changes are, because we're going through huge market changes right now.
Tremendous, yeah. So that's really interesting in terms of the work we need to do personally then to sustain. I hear that's the key word.
Yeah.
Sustain the growth, not just get there and then crash.
Yeah, because lots of times there's so much commitment to hit that goal.
Right.
And I mean, it takes a lot of effort. And lots of people, even the small goals that people set, I love that they can hit them. But the issue then becomes, okay, how do I sustain that? How do I maintain that? How do I keep myself in a place where I don't end up with, 50, 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks to try to maintain that? And then I have a lifestyle that I'm trying to maintain as well. I have to look good to the neighbors, all that stuff, which I think completely gets in the way, especially if you're not doing the personal growth that you need to.
Okay. So if there was one thing that you would say people should add to their life that would really make a difference in them moving forward, I know, if you had to pick one, what would come to the top of the list?
Be still.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really critical that we do more meditation, and we get ourselves back away from the craziness. When I look at the internet, and lots of people know or describe me as a small L Luddite, but I think there's a place where the amount of time and effort we put in to, quote, stay connected, I think is really getting in the way of our even staying connected to our souls. And the only place to do that, I mean, go for a walk, all those are really important things to do, but how often do we just be still?
So when you're coaching business folks, I mean, from little companies to multi-million-dollar companies, and you make that kind of recommendation, can you tell me what response you get? Like, how do you set it, frame it for them to see? Because I was not expecting that to be your number one. And so I'm guessing lots of people in this audience would not have expected that to be. I mean, I certainly understand it.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I think if you've got kids,
take
them to the aquarium. Go for a walk with them. How many times when we had little kids and we're going to, we told our spouse, I'll take Jake out for a walk, or I'll take Sally out for a walk, or I'll take Julie out for a walk, and we don't get past the neighbors because they got caught up looking at a blade of grass. And we feel very driven to get around the block because we said we were going for a walk around the block. Being still with that child to just look at that blade of grass and realize that's what life's all about. It's just that.
Right.
And so coming back in and having a lovely tale to tell that we didn't get past the neighbors, I think is much more powerful, because that's the still. It's much more powerful than having gotten around the block, gotten your agenda done, if you will.
Right. So in business, how does that perspective go over?
Well, it's a challenge because, again, we keep looking at quarterly returns, and sometimes we have to stop, take stock.
Right.
You know, in any of the context of even reviewing your businesses, should we be still doing what we're doing that we did for the last 10 years? Is that still the best product? Is that still the best service? Right. Do people still want that service? Right. My experience is, in lots of cases, it was brilliant for 10 years. Yeah. You know, buggy whip manufacturers. We had buggy whip manufacturers. We had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them around North America because we had horses. Yeah. Now there's very few people want buggy whips, and they don't want them for their horse.
You got it. We're not going there. Great, great point. So if there was one thing people should stop doing, they should start doing the stillness, the quiet, the meditation, the coming back to themselves. So it's one thing they should stop doing. Is there anything that comes to mind from that angle?
Yeah, I think there's a conversation that Lily Tomlin has that I think is a brilliant quote. It's, we have to stop trying harder. Why don't we try softer? And that leans even to the conversation about, you know, slow down a little bit. It's okay to slow down. In every company that I've worked with in the last few years, slowing down sometimes can create challenges. You know, I know at least one of the occasions that I've had to work with a customer, it was really challenging because we actually had to close the business. But it's the right decision, because go ask the CEO how she's doing. And her life's completely transformed. So there's a place in that, you know, let's stop trying so hard. Let's just try soft. And it's not in our lexicon for some reason. And again, I think it's back to the quarterly returns, achievement stuff, flavor of the week. You know, it's a crappy kind of phrase. But
You've talked a lot. I know you gave a keynote presentation not that long ago about what it is we really fear.
Yes.
You know, with change.
Yeah.
And why don't you share with people what you had said in terms of that?
Well, the context for me is people don't resist change at all.
Yeah.
People resist loss.
Exactly.
You know, loss of status, loss of, you know, where am I going? Will I still have my job? When you get kids and you're going to move. Yeah. They don't care about getting a new swimming pool and all. They don't care about any of that stuff. They care about the loss of friends. Right. When we address a loss in any corporate context, we now have a leg up to figure out how to solve what the company's trying to do to get moving forward. That's a huge difference than blaming everything on the fact that people resist change. My experience is people don't actually resist it at all. Right. Give them a compelling reason to move forward. Yeah. And they can get rid of the fear factor of what they could potentially lose. They're all on board. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we can address that fear piece, then it frees the whole thing up.
Yep.
Okay, great. So if there was one piece of wisdom, I mean, you've been sharing wisdom all the way through, but one piece that really stands out that has served you both personally and as a professional in business. Is there some gem that you'd like to share that has really made a difference for you in your life?
Yes, intentions. Being intentional. When you write intentions, and I'm not talking about putting them on an app, I'm not talking about typing them into your computer. Print a sheet out and write down what you intend, not the doing sheet, not the to-do list, but how you intend to be with that client, with that meeting, with that spouse, with your kids, with that circumstance of dealing with a very difficult client or a challenging client or an upset. And you write a very clear intention of how you will be in that process. Yeah. Amazing tool. Yeah. You know, John Ruskin said, "He who has the greatest intention wins." Wow. Well, that's cool.
That says it all. Yeah. It's interesting how well that fits too with the brain in terms of you're priming your brain. You're setting up those neural pathways to just write it. I have to picture it, don't I?
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is how I want to show up in this situation.
Yep.
So in a way, it's like a dress rehearsal. Yeah. And that makes it, I think, that much easier to step in and be that during the day.
Well, if we believe we've got 80 to 100 trillion cells in our body, and their whole goal is homeostasis, which is living together in harmony.
Right.
it would seem to me that being intentional about how best to do that is just going to aid 100 trillion cells to do their jobs.
Yeah, to know what direction to go.
Sounds like a brilliant concept.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, Bill. This is fabulous. I feel like there's 16 more questions I could fire at you, but we promise not to make our blogs longer than 7 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to call it that. Thank you again.
Have me back. I'd be loving to do it.
I would love to have you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.